Welcome back. This week we're doing something a little bit different, which is why I'm in front of my world map. This week's story comes from, can you see, Colombia, which is on a different map. Colombia is in South America, between Ecuador, Venezuela and Brazil and Peru. And major language people speak there is Spanish. So our book this week is a true story from Colombia. I love this very vibrant coloured pictures, very sort of stylised illustration. One reason I chose it is because we've actually got somebody who's from Colombia, or whose family is from Colombia, in our school in Year 5, who's had a birthday recently. And another reason I chose it is because there's actually a true video, which I'm going to put in the comments underneath so you can see. One thing that's missing though, what's wrong there? It should be a capital letter. Always places have capital letters. Okay, now it's by Jeanette Winter. In Year 4, lots of people who are in Year 4 now read Wangari's Trees of Peace, and that was by Jeanette Winter, this same author who does these true stories of famous people who've done really cool things with these very stylised, vibrant illustrations. Right, on the back, skim this. Understated means it's not over the top. Full of life, satisfying, vibrant reminder, the pleasures of books. Okay. Winter, that's the author, has a gift for creating non-fiction that's accessible, sweet and uplifting, and presumably this is our hero. Okay, now what can we learn from this word, biblioburro? Biblio, okay, that's from the Greek biblios. It means book, and from that word we get Bible. And we get bibliography, which is a list of books that you put at the end of your essay that you've read from. And I think in French, bibliothèque is library. So biblio is book or library. And burro, okay, burro, is the Spanish word for donkey. I wish I spoke Spanish better and you could hear it pronounced with a really good accent. So something like book donkey. There we are, and there's our big clue. The page tells us it was written in 2010, and it says the illustrations are rendered in acrylic paint with pen and ink. Deep in the jungles of Colombia, there lives a man who loves books. His name is Louis. Where is our Louis? Here we go. Looks comfortable on his rocking chair. As soon as he reads one book, he brings home another. Soon the house is filled with books. His wife, Diana, grumbles. What are we going to do? Eat books with our rice? Louis thinks long and hard. At last an idea pops into his head. I can bring my books into the faraway hills to share with those who have none. This is his think bubble. One burro could carry books and another burro could carry me and more books. There we are, there's the burros, the donkeys. Louis buys 2 sturdy little burros. He names them Alpha and Beta. Do you get it? Alpha, that's the girl one, and Beta is the boy one. Alpha, Beta, alphabet. He builds crates to hang on their backs and paints signs, Biblioburro, the burro library. Then Diana fills the crates with books. Presumably she's glad he's got a project in mind. Every week, Louis and Alpha and Beto set off across the countryside to faraway villages in the lonely hills. This week they travel to El Tormento. When the sun burns high in the sky, Louis and the burros stop at a stream to drink the cool water. After they have their fill, Beto balks. Way, new word for lots of you. Balks means hesitates and like refuses. You know how donkeys have got a mind of their own? This donkey is refusing to go forward. Presumably he's got a reason. Louis pulls and pulls on Beto's reins, but Beto won't budge. The children are waiting for us. At last the burro gives in and steps across the stream. Okay, got a bit of tension building up. Why was Beto so reluctant? Why was he balking? Deep in the hills, the path is lonelier than ever. Bird songs are the only sounds they hear. Then, from deep in the shadows, a bandit leaps out. "Give me your silver." "Please let us pass," Louis says. "The children are waiting." The bandit scowls at the books, but he takes one and growls, "Next time I want silver." You could say that books are more precious than silver. Okay, he's arriving safely at the village. The Biblioburro continues on its way over the hills until at last Louis sees houses below. The children of El Tormento run to meet him. Yay, they're enthusiastic about their library. Louis insists on reading a story before they choose books to borrow. "Today I have a surprise for you," he says. He reaches behind the books and pulls out a bundle of masks. "Little piglets. Put on a mask and I'll read you a tale about pigs." Can you predict which tale this will be? Oh look, there it is in picture form. Once upon a time. Do you recognise it? 3 little pigs building their house of straw, twigs and bricks. Wolf huffing and puffing, blowing down the straw house, blowing down the twig's house. Not blowing down the bricks. Listening attentively. He's always got a butterfly perched on his hat. When the story ends, it's time for everyone to choose a book. The children hold their books close as they say goodbye and walk home. Louis and Alpha and Beta head back over and around the hills, across the grasslands and streams and into the sunset. Good day's work, I feel. Ooh, is this someone reading here under a tree? At home, Louis feeds his hungry burros and Diana feeds her hungry husband. But then, instead of sleeping, Louis picks up his book and reads deep into the night. I know that temptation, mate. I know it. And far away in the hills, candles and lanterns burn as the children read borrowed books deep into their night too. Sweet image to finish with. There's a quote from the hero. "People around here love stories. I'm trying to keep that spirit alive in my own way." Luis Soriano. Biblioburro is based on the true story of Luis Soriano, who lives in La Gloria, a remote town in northern Colombia. Okay, so remote, meaning there aren't roads. It's very far away in the countryside. An avid reader, excellent, I hope some of you are too, Louis understood the transformative power of reading because of his experiences as a school teacher. He wanted to share his collection of books with the children and adults in the isolated villages in the distant hills where books were scarce. Most houses had none. Louis and his 2 burros began bringing books to the villages in 2000. He started with a collection of 70 books that has grown to over 4,800, mostly from donations. Now the Biblioburro travels to the hills every weekend. 300 people, more or less, look forward to borrowing the books Louis brings. A small corner of the world is enriched. Hooray. J.W., that's the author. And if you remember, when did she write this? What was the date? Was it 2010? So since then, the video's been made that you can see in the link, and that's got an even higher number of books that are borrowed now from his library and of people who've been through the library and had their lives changed through reading books. Okay, let's have speedy quiz time. Number 1, what was the name of the main guy who carried his books around? Married to Diana. Question 2, what were the donkeys, what were they called? What was the Spanish word for donkey that keeps being used? Question 3, what was the hitch? What was the thing that went wrong with the story? What was the drama that made the donkey balk? Okay, question 4, do you remember what little masks he got the children to put on in the story? And question 5, when does he go? Did you notice in the very back it said when he goes nowadays? That's just a recall question. Okay, pause the video if you need longer because we're going to mark them now. Question 1, his name was Louis, our main guy. And question 2, the donkey's name was the Burrows, and they were called Alpha and Beta, although I didn't ask that. The hitch, question 3, was that he got met by a bandit. In the video, I think it was like a malicious soldier man. It wasn't just a random kind of highwayman. They were having like a sort of kind of civil war, and in the real life version, I think he was a soldier who was trying to stop Louis. It was piglet masks for the 3 little pigs. And question 5, how fun does he go now? That was in that kind of little info bit at the back, and it said he goes into the hills every weekend. Okay, now, new words, new vocab from today. That word bulks, I don't know whether to spell it. It was spelt in the book, bulks, but I've got a feeling it's got a U in it. I've got a feeling the book is American spelling. Let me just check. I looked it up and it can be either, but with the U in it is more common in the UK. Okay, so I'm going with bulks or bulks. It's kind of like a ball with a K on the end, the sound of it, bulks. So, you could say most British children bulk at the thought of eating broccoli. Actually, I really like broccoli. So it's kind of like hesitate, and it's kind of like don't want to. So I'm going to put a little folded arms. They're just not convinced. So it's kind of hesitate and kind of refuse, or they kind of pause before they do it. So if something's really expensive, you might balk at the price, but you probably will pay it in the end. Balk. So the donkey was balking at going over the stream because it knew that they were about to be not exactly attacked, but approached by this bandit. Okay, we had 2 words that mean almost the same thing. A faraway village could be remote, or it could be isolate. Oh, it's got late in the middle. Isolated. So I'm thinking of a little village in far away across the mountains that takes somebody hours and hours to get to, and there isn't a proper road you can drive along. You have to just walk there with your donkeys or something, and it's a really remote village. It's just hours and hours to get anywhere. Remote means kind of far away. You know, like the remote control on your telly? So it's called the remote because it means you can turn the TV on and off remotely from far away. Remote control car, you control it from far away. So remote means far away. And isolated means it's not in the middle of a city. It's a really long way if you want to get to the shops or get to the doctors or something. Isolated means it's kind of alone, far away, and yeah, remote is kind of a partner word. Right, can you use those in a sentence this week? And I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to check out the video about the real guy and interviewing him, which I'll try and put in the comments. Okay, take care. Bye.